What's going on, everyone? Welcome back for another week of the Final Points. I'm your host, Dom Cintorino, joined as always by Matt Gannon. Matt, what's going on?
BMW week. We're getting down to it. 2 more weeks left, but it's gonna a great field, a great tournament. I'm excited.
Yep. No cut event. I know there was a lot of schedule changes, but it seems like we lost 3 to 4 no cut events with all the WGCs.
No, I agree. It was the WGCs and stuff like that. Yeah. Xander had to win somewhere, so he figured it out.
I know. So can finally look at guys who play well in some of these no cut events, because there are guys who do a lot better when they get a full 4 rounds and can have those upside weeks where one bad Thursday is not going to derail their whole week and send them home early. So something to look at. But yeah, it seems like even last year doing content, it was like there was a stretch where every other week seemed like a no cut event. And that, like you said, it just got all taken away. So, but here we are, 70 technically players left in the FedEx Cup, a lot of points to be won. Top 30 are going to punch a ticket to Eastlake, so a lot to play for. Looking at the course, Wilmington Country Club, par 71 over 7,500 yards. What are you looking at this week?
Total driving.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking for, and we don't know much about the course. We only know what the players are saying, what we're seeing from a scorecard. You got to find a lane. A lot of people are going with bombers. I'm leaning more towards the accuracy side of thing, but just total driving as a whole. I'm just taking that route. I'm playing total drivers. That's it.
And the reason I'm going accuracy as well is because, 2 of the par 5s are over 600 yards. That's where a lot of the length is coming from. A couple of the par 3s are over 2, so that makes it a little lengthy as well. But some of these par 4s, you don't have to absolutely bomb it out there. Like, there's dog legs, there's bunkers lining the fairways, the greens. Like, you don't need a bomber. I don't think it would hurt you at all, but I'm going off the tee with an emphasis on accuracy.
I'm doing the same exact thing. So we're probably going to be on some of the same guys this week.
Yeah. Outside of that, proximity from 200 plus, I'm looking at a little bit. And then 3-putt avoidance. And
that's big too.
And putts from 25 plus. Kind of looked at that at St. Andrews to see who can make these long putts, and I think the same thing's going to come into play this week. Looking at Hunter's event and course preview article, 8,100 yards, average green size or total green sizes, second largest on the PGA Tour this season. So even if you're hitting your greens in regulation, you're still going to have a solid putter. So looking at overall 3-putt avoidance, I like looking at it in terms of the whole season. I don't care if you're really good from 3-putt avoidance in the last month. It could be a fluke. Not many people
100%
3-putt. A lot of people have 0 for a whole week. So that stat is kind of skewed unless you stretch it out over a long period of time. Outside of that, you can look at sand saves if you want. I mentioned the bunkers.
A lot of bunkers, yeah.
91 total. Hunter had in his event and course preview article up on fantasypoints.com. So something worth looking at as well. But outside of that, pretty straightforward. Ball strikers approach.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff we don't know. So you got to pick a route and go with it. And I think there's a lot of edges to be had in DFS. You pick one edge, you run with it. That can get you all the way to the top. That can get you all the way to the back. So this is a week to take chances, find a narrative, and go with it. It's not like we're playing Harbor Town where we know what we're getting. Like with guys, what we want. We can go. You can do anything you want, and no one will blame you for taking a chance. So we're on the same page this week. That's awesome. So I'm ready to get into it.
All right, let's go into the 10K range. With the Cam Smith WD, we're left with 4 guys. Rory McIlroy at the top, followed by John Rahm, Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris. I got one guy up here, Matt, and I think you're on the same.
Rombo.
Let's
hear it.
So in the Discord, I think Monday it was, after Hunter kind of threw his course preview out there, I asked what kind of course comps he's looking at. He mentioned Vedanta, the Mexico Open. Obviously, Rahm won that one, but historically plays well on some of these longer courses. I just like what he's able to do off the tee, even when we've seen him go through a couple, not bad stretches, but he didn't have the elite finishes. He was still elite off the tee, and that's kind of the case here today. Had a T5 last week, and I didn't get a whole lot of chances to watch the tournament, but when I checked it, I didn't see Rahm near the leaderboard. Made a little bit of a push on Sunday, so good to see him running into form. Got the baby swag obviously going for him. That's a week behind him now. So I'm in on Rahm. I think 10-3 is a beautiful price.
Great price. And I think all these guys in the 10K range have great prices because even Cam Smith 10-7, like I feel like we could have gotten higher prices from everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, John Rahm, he had the lowest score on the weekend of everyone besides someone named Will Zalatoris. So he played really well after, I guess, a slower start. Played the par fives really bad this week. He played him at like 2 or 3 under, which is not what you want to be doing when you're John Rahm. So, but what he's done off the tee has been this whole year and recently has been insane. I think he's gained off the tee in like 47 of like 53 event or 47 of 50 events. He ranks first in strokes gained off the tee, ranks first in total driving year long and of late. He's great with his long irons, and you don't want to play John Rahm in a course that's bomb and wedge. You want to play John Rahm when Torrey Pines, where it's a bomb and you have to be in the fairway, hit a middle of long irons. And I think that's what we're going to get here. He gained, what did he gain up to last week? 4.41 and 5.41 in the last 2 weeks. He's hitting the ball well, and all of his stats are coming into form. We're not getting those weeks where it's like really good here, spotty here.
Right.
It's starting to come into form. And I told you a few weeks ago, John Rahm was on my blacklist. And the only way to get off my blacklist is top 5. He did that last week. I know it was with the help of Trey Mullinax bogeying 18. But it says 5 next to it. I love the course fit.
5.
I'm going with John Rahm.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And speaking of the whole no-cut event thing, looking over the last 2 seasons, total strokes gained, John Rahm's 4th. So obviously has had success in these style tournaments. Are you going anywhere else up here?
Well, no, but I made a little bit of Rory. So what we saw from Rory last week was it was just a bad driving week, and it was the first time he lost with his driver since the Tour Championship of last year. And Tour Championship of last year. And I can live with it because he said he hadn't touched a golf club in 2 weeks. And he said in his interview today, I've been here since Saturday. I've played the course since Saturday. So that means he's played the course more than anyone else at this whole field because he missed the cut, went right there. Get ready for it. And before that last week, it was -2 off the tee. It was the best 8-week driving statistically he's ever had in his career. So he's hitting the ball amazingly. I was one bad week when he had to pick the club. He's played this course. I'm kind of scared of Rory, I have to say it. So yeah, I might have to play him a little bit. He's going to be highly owned. I think JT is going to be the highest owned guy in this range, but I think he's going to touch 24 plus.
I mean, price wise, I feel like it's realistic. You can put Rahm and Rory start.
No, you literally could.
Because you're left with $7,300 total. You get one guy in the 6K range who just pushes out a top 20 finish, which isn't crazy by any means. I mean, we're down to the last 70 golfers on the PGA Tour. Like, there are studs top to bottom. No matter how you want to twist it, whoever's in bad form, good form, these guys are here for a reason. They've been as consistent as anybody else. So, I mean, being left at the $7,300 average, starting with the top 2 guys, it's going to be a rare build too.
Yeah, for sure. I do like – so it's Rahm and Rory for me. And JT, I was on him last week. He hit the ball okay, but the putter is just like – it's scary. It's really scary. Like, he's lost 4 straight, and it's like he's not even coming close. Like, he's putting objectively horrible. Gained 3.85 ball striking, and off the tee was good, which I think is going to be huge this week off the tee. I don't hate that, but at an event where it's trying to get to what I'm going to say 17 under.
I was going to ask you when we were going over the course. I think that's a solid. 17. I think that's a solid spot. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, we've seen 4 of the last 5 winners at the BMW Championship, which is a rotating event, be 20 under or higher. I just don't think it's going to play that easy.
No, they said basically their comparisons was like a harder Case Valley. We know what they did to Case Valley last year. It was like 27. Yeah. So harder Case Valley, like. Visually, Case Valley is a tough looking course. It's really long, very hilly. I was there last year. It was one of the toughest walks I've ever had. But
your legs still sore?
They're still sore. Yeah, they are. So it was a tough looking course, and they tore it up. So if they're saying it's a harder Case Valley, I'm gonna go in the 17 range. And there was rain on Sunday there, but they said they're trying to firm it up for the weekend. So should play a little bit tougher. I'm gonna go 17, 18.
Yeah, and even with, like we said, a lot of the greens are surrounded by bunkers. Some of the pin
Yeah.
placements too that it looks like are going to be set up are you're going to have to go one way or the other. Like you're not going to be able to fly every single pin, or you're going to be stuck in some bunkers or be left with a 20 to 50 foot putt. I
No,
mean
I agree.
that's realistic. So, yeah, Rom, Rory, I'm glad we're in the same headspace there. Let's jump into the nines. So very big range,
Huge
very
range.
talented range. Where do you stand at the top? Because I don't have a whole lot of exposure to anyone on the left side.
Yeah, I'm on three
Outside of
guys in
one.
this range. I'm starting at actually I have no one on the left side.
Okay.
So who do you have on the left side?
I'm debating Scotty just because of the price point.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
I
Yeah.
haven't fully got there or really dove into ownership, but that's
I'm
where I'm
saying
looking.
14. Like a 14% owned Scotty Scheffler at 9.8 might be like how could you not play this?
I know.
But the thing is, it's actually crazy how, not saying his run was putter driven, but what he did with the putter in his
Just
4
consistent.
wins in 6 week, wins in 6 weeks was insane. And now it's really starting to cool down, just like literally normal regression, and the results aren't quite there. He's still hitting it really good, but he's just putting it poorly. And it's not like I'm saying he has to putt it great to perform well, but like what we're seeing from Finau right now, he's in a little peak run with the putter. Like the ball striking is always there, but he's at a little peak run with the putter, and he's turning out these top fives. So that's what we're getting. And I mean 9.8, whatever. I like Finau better if I had to go with one person on the side.
That's fair. I just looked it up. The last time we saw Scheffler outside of the 10K range was the Players Championship at the beginning of March, which checks out. And actually, it's kind of surprising because he had 2 wins to that point. So,
yeah, that is crazy.
But
I was actually going to go with Xander in this range. I was going to go. My thing was Xander or Morikawa. I was going to go with 3 guys in this range. I had 4 guys, and I was crossing off Xander, Morikawa. It was going to be an ownership thing, but in today's presser, Xander said how he doesn't feel like he's hitting the ball good right now, and he has to work on some things. The last time we heard that was Billy Horschel at Wyndham, and he did nothing there. So that's all I needed to get off of Xander. I'm going with no guy on this left side.
Okay.
I'll start with Morikawa.
Right.
Are you on anyone over here? Morikawa?
Not Morikawa. I'm on 9.2 and 9.1.
Okay, so Morikawa last 4 tournaments was either a miscut or a top 5. Both of the miscuts were in Scotland. Literally whatever. Hit the ball okay there. Didn't putt good. Those aren't really Morikawa courses, I would say. And then since he's got onto tree-lined, more American-style golf courses, T5, +5 ball striking, +5.6 ball striking. He is a number 12th in total driving on tour, and he is amazing with all of his middle and long irons. And he's I feel like Morikawa is coming back, so I love Morikawa. I couldn't get there with a bet, but I love him to have a good result this week.
Okay. Yeah, I was on him last week. Didn't do too bad. Victor Hovland.
Catch me top 5.
Yeah, Victor is my top guy here. 9.2 going back to the well. Obviously, around the green is the thing that always holds him back. Shouldn't be much of an issue this week. He's not had a horrible putting season, honestly. So that doesn't worry me as long as he's striking the ball well. Another guy who has had success historically in no-cut events, ranks inside the top 10 over the past 2 seasons. Seen him get I believe he's gotten a win recently. It seems like he wins every fall at one of these weird events or whatever when he ran hot last year. But I'm on Vic, but my heaviest owned guy in this range is going to be Sungjae Im, who's going to be fairly popular at 9.1. I just like the way that Sungjae Im sets up. Sneaky off the tee over the last couple months.
Sneaky amazing.
But yeah, last 2 months, nobody in the field is better. And he's doing it through accuracy.
Which is what I want, which is what we want.
So, are you on Im?
I am on Im. I'm on Im and Hovland. Those are the only. I'm on Morikawa, Im, and Hovland.
Okay.
I bet Morikawa. I mean, not Morikawa. I bet Hovland and Im. Hovland, I think this is the perfect golf course for Victor Hovland. where driving accuracy and driving distance, total driving, is a key component.
Yeah.
You're getting massive greens. If he's missing these greens, he's like there's bigger issues than that. So
Right.
if he's missing these greens, if anyone's missing these greens, they're in trouble because these greens are probably the second biggest we're seeing all year. And what did he do at the Open? In no form.
Right.
Drive it as far as you can and hit massive greens, finish in the top 5. So now he's playing a little better since he was before that Open. He's coming in a 4th at a 20th place finish. He's 3 straight events where he's gaining +4 ball striking, +3.5 strokes ball striking. He's not hitting it as good as he did earlier in the season, but it's coming back into form, and I really can't think of a better course for Viktor Hovland. I love everything about him. I bet him at 30-1. He's in a lot of my lineups at 9-2.
Yeah, and my other thing with him, 12th place finish last week, number 1 off the tee, gaining just shy of 5 strokes. I want to say it was 4-7. Also led off the tee at TPC Twin Cities. That's a course that I've kind of comped this to. A lot of bunkers.
Okay.
Par 71 plays a little bit longer. So I was looking at that one. Obviously had the runner-up finish last month to Tony Finau. And success at the BMW, obviously rotating courses, but 3rd last year was 4 strokes out of the playoff between Cantlay and Bryson, and then T11 back in 2019. So has shown to have some success when the scoring can get low at a BMW. I'm all in on him, and I really don't care about the ownership.
Yeah, I'm all the way in on him. I'm same reason as you. It's really the driver for me, and he's just if you just did the most basic stuff, if you weren't even a golf research guy and you bet weekly, you play the hot golfers, you're making a lot of money right now. So yeah. Sungjae Im is a very hot golfer. Maybe he's the next one to break through with a win. We saw it with Finau, Xander. Maybe we saw it with Zalatoris. Maybe Im's next because Im went second, and what he finished last week, like top 10, I believe. Yep. So yeah, play the hot golfer. 9-1, no brainer. I'm all the way in on Sungjae Im.
All right, ready for the 8K?
8K.
So my highest, well, my guy's very low. So do you have anyone towards the top here?
Towards the top, 8K. No, I have one guy and he's low.
Because the only one on the left side that I'm really considering is Joaquin Niemann.
Yeah, I bet him, but I bet him. I haven't played him in any lineups yet, though. I could get there.
Yeah, I think it's a fair price. I mean, it's 8.6 is solid if you're going with a balanced build. I think he is a good piece to throw in there. I like him at no-cut events as well. Has the history at Century Tournament of Champions, obviously, and had a solid year altogether. But the guy that I'm going to here is Adam Scott at $8,000.
Did not think you were going to hear that. He hit it really well last week, right?
He did, yeah. I just think the price is too good to ignore coming off of a T5 at the St. Jude. Putter carried him, but that's not.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, it was he
that's
putted
not
really
the
well.
worst thing heading into this week. Led the field in putting, gained over 6 strokes. And speaking of the St. Andrews comp with the massive greens, only had 2 3-putts that week, which was the 3rd, or he was ranked 3rd in the field. So if he's able to keep his form, keep his putter, I mean, he plays decent at some of these longer courses, surprisingly. Form's finally rounding up. I like him at 8K flat.
Yeah, my guy on this range, the only guy I'm playing in this 8K range is Corey Connors.
I like that.
I like Corey Connors on this type of golf course where driving accuracy is really important. And what Corey Connors does poorly is putt inside 10 feet. So you're telling me Corey Connors is on going to a course where he can hit greens with no proximity, and he's a really good lag putter, very underrated lag putter. He just struggles on it's literally what Will Zalatoris kind of has improved on. That's what Will Zalatoris was bad at. He couldn't great lag putter, but he was bad inside 5 feet. Corey Connors hasn't lost a full stroke off the tee since the 2019 Open Championship. I don't even know how he did that. 2019, but whatever. He's a way better. Like that's over 2 years. So since he's lost strokes off the tee, he's a great total driver. He's not long. I mean, he's not the longest, but he's not short. And we know what he is with his irons. Irons have kind of taken a back seat this season, but he's still a above average iron player. And do I think he's going to get to 17 under and win this event? No. Do I think he's a good DraftKings play at 8.3? Yeah, I do. So I'm seeing like 14% owned. I'm okay with that. So I'll take. It was kind of between Corey or Joaquin. I like Corey's fit a little better, but like for safety wise, I think Joaquin has a little bit higher of a ceiling. But I'm just gonna go with Corey Connors in this range. I'm gonna bet Joaquin Neiman at 40-1.
Fair enough. 7K.
7K.
All right. So not a huge range, obviously, with a limited field and a no-cut event, but there are two guys that I'm on. Keith Mitchell at $7,400.
Me too.
And Thigala at 73.
Okay, I'm scared of Thigala's driver, but he hit it. He drove it well last week or the week before. He drove it really well. One of his best off the tees weeks. But
Yeah,
you
sorry.
go.
So I'll just start with Thigala since you're on Mitchell as well. Currently 27th in the FedEx Cup standings, so a lot to play for the rookie. 33% of his starts this season have been top 25 finishes, one of them being last week at the St. Jude where he was T13. Led the field in proximity from 200 plus, which two of the par threes are going to be, and then every one of your approach shots on the longer par fives. And then he was second in par five scoring last week as well. And then I was kind of going through putts of 25 feet or longer. Over the last 3 months, he ranked third. So that kind of
He's a
comes
guy.
into
Yeah,
play.
he's
The long proximity being somewhat recent. I think it's a pretty good price.
yeah. So I can get behind that call. And he's been playing good too. So I don't hate.
And
that.
I
He's
mentioned
just
the whole Rom Rory thing. I mean, if you start with them two guys, Thigala's at the 7,300, which you have averaged. Mitchell puts you at, I mean, you only have two more guys in, and that's not a bad start.
no. And there's definitely guys in the 6K range that shouldn't be in the 6K range normally because it's
Right.
a seven-man field.
Yep.
So yeah, Keith Mitchell, we're both on. There's only one guy better at driving this year, and that's John Rahm than Keith Mitchell. He ranks second in total driving, and he had a little bit of a slow run in Scotland, which is whatever. Gain was about a 0 to the field in those courses, but he bombed it at the Wyndham. Gained 6 strokes off the tee. Gained 2 last week. Fine. What Keith Mitchell struggles with is his irons, but now we're heading to a course with massive greens. Hit these greens. Can he get hot with the putter? Yeah, for sure he can. He ranks 40th on tour in strokes gained putting. So, and Patrick Cantlay said, what you want this week is a guy who's at the top with his driver and a guy who's at the top with his putter. We know Keith Mitchell can easily be at the top with his driver. Now we're banking on a hot putter week. I kind of want to bet him, but I just don't have any room. But so I'm just going to play him. I mean, I'm planning to play him in DraftKings, but I really like Keith Mitchell's upside this week. I think he could have a sneaky top 10 finish.
Yeah, I think he's a great DFS play. I just don't think he has the winning equity.
Right. Like
I mean, you got to be realistic with your outrights, obviously,
you're right.
as always. But in a field like this, no cut event, like, is he going to put 4 rounds together that are elite? Nobody doesn't have to at $7,400 in DFS. And that's the difference between the two. Speaking of the putts of 25 feet or longer, 6th on the season, Keith Mitchell.
Yeah, he's a guy who can fill it up. He's a guy who can get really hot with the putter.
And being long off the tee plus being able to have a flat stick is the recipe that we were talking about here.
Yeah, that's the recipe that we're looking for, driver putter. Next guy I'm on in this, well, actually he's above him, but there's only two guys I'm on in this range is Keith Mitchell and Davis Riley. I've kind of been back and forth with Davis Riley, whether I love him or hate him, and his results have shown that. It's really weird. He ranks 8th on tour in total driving, which is what I'm looking for this week. I'm just playing these total drivers. But he does it like so weirdly. Like he gained +4 last week off the tee. Week before was like a 0. And then like he'll gain 6 strokes on approach. And then last week he lost 1 on approach. He can gain have ceiling weeks in every single category. We don't know what we're going to get, but I'm banking on the driver to come through this week. If the driver comes through, I think Davis Riley could have a decent finish in this event. So I'm going with Davis Riley's driver and at 3% owned. We see Davis Riley sometimes get really, really chalky. So I'll bite at 3% and 7.75.
Yeah, like you said, a very good price, and you're getting him in a no-cut event. So I think he's clearly a guy who has shown the type of upside. I mean, some of his missed cuts, like looking API, 2 under the first round, 8 over the second round. Not that that's good, but you can work your way back in some of these no-cut events where it would be an early exit other weeks. And he's been consistent for the most part this season, but there are those back-to-back missed cuts at the 3M and Rocket where everybody was on him.
I think
it's kind of driving his price and ownership down, but buy the discount.
Yeah. So, Davey
All right.
Riley.
6K, which, like you said, doesn't seem like all that much of a 6K range. I'm on Griot again.
Don't hate that at all.
He was in the staff picks, he's my placement finish. I forgot what I think 20-1 is a top 5, which I don't hate. Looking over the last couple months, top 5 in proximity from 200 plus in the field and off the tee, top 10 in ball striking. Pretty decent with 3-putt avoidance as well. I've been on Griot for quite some time. I mean, what was it, like a month or two ago when he first started rounding the form, we were both on him the same week, and he's kind of taken off from there. It's the only reason he's in the top 70 because he had a very slow start. So I'm on Griot at $6,600. I also like Sebastian Munoz at 65, another guy who plays extremely well in these no-cut events.
Really? Wow.
Finished outside of the top 40 last week, but was 12th in approach. Struggled around the green a little bit, which we already said is not going to be that big of an issue. So I like Sebastian Munoz quite a bit, and this is recent, so I'm probably going to go see what I can get on a top 30 or 40.
Yeah, I actually don't like this upper 6K range at all. There's no one I went through all of them. I was like, I don't like any of these guys. I got 3 guys in 6K range, and they're all sub 6'2". First guy is Alex Smalley, ranks 26th on the entire tour in total driving, and he makes his hay with his middle to long irons. He's really he's just a ball striker. He's a bad putter, ball striker, bad putter, but the driver is his best attribute. So Alex Smalley is my guy, and the next guy I'm on is Cameron Tringali. This is like the Cameron Tringali course. It's like hit a green with 0 proximity at all and 2-putt. Like that's what he does. Hopefully he has one day where he just goes 8 under. Like
first round leader.
I almost played that. So Cameron Tringali is a guy I play him on courses that are tough, but you need to hit greens and they're big. So like Torrey Pines, and he finished 3rd there. Hit the greens with 0 proximity, 2-putt, and get out of there. Cameron Tringali is my guy at 6'2". I really like him this week. I almost bet him, but I would have got made fun of, so I didn't bet him. And then finally,
you can't let that play into it.
No, I really did. That wasn't the only reason. Actually, Brian gave me some shit. But Brian said if Tringali wins, he's paying for my BMW tickets because we're going this week. So
that's fair.
We'll see. So, and my last guy is Brendan Steele. He is having an amazing off the tee season. Ranks 19th on tour in total driving, 6th in strokes gained off the tee. The first time he lost strokes off the tee was last week since the Sony Open. That was one of the first events of the season. Has bounced back every single time, and his irons are amazing. Same thing as Smalley. He's an amazing ball striker, leans on the driver, horrible putter. I'm gonna buy the driver at 6'2".
So Brendan Steele, looking over the last 3 months, 1st in approach, 1st in prox from 200 plus, 2nd in ball striking, and 3rd in total proximity in the field.
Steele. Who else would you want?
$6,200.
I'll take that.
Number 1 in my model over the last 3 months.
Brett. Yeah, and because everyone's going to go down to Trey Mullinax. Everyone's down here is going to hit Trey Mullinax because of the recent form, which I don't hate. He's pretty accurate with the driver, but I'm not taking Trey Mullinax at double the ownership versus any of these guys who have similar upside, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't mind Steele at all. I think that's a pretty good price too, obviously down here at basically bare minimum. If I'm going to 6K, there's a couple guys I don't mind. Luke List and Kurt Kitayama.
Luke List, I was like, if you have to play someone at 6K, I would not hate you for playing Luke List. He's kind of lost some of his ball striking prowess in the last recently. Was it 4 straight missed cuts? But what is he? He's a very accurate, very long, and amazing iron player. If Luke List is literally gaining less than a stroke on approach, he's missing cuts because we know he's going to lose in the putter, and that's what we're seeing. So if he could turn it around, he has legit upside. Literally won at Torrey Pines, a bit better form coming into then, but this is a course. This is a course that makes sense for Luke List.
Yeah, and doesn't have a ton of history at no-cut events over the last 2 seasons, but ranks 22nd in DraftKings points in the field.
That's something.
and talked about the off the tee game. I mean, I know he's more of a distance guy, but at the same time, we're talking 6K flat here. Or you're not going to get everything for a reason. But yeah, like I said, Kitayama, I don't mind as well, just from the off the tee standpoint alone, and does well on some of these longer par 5 holes. So I'll probably have more lists than Kitayama, but 2 guys worth at least throwing darts on. You can definitely do worse if you want to go heavy in the upper 10K range, like we were kind of talking about the Rory Rahm start. I think it's realistic this week. There's plenty of value. Like we said, there's 70 guys left for a reason, and you can go stars and scrubs full on, and I wouldn't blame you for it. So
I'm going to have to take some more around for sure. I'm not sure what kind of contest I'm going to play in this week, because I really think there could be big upside just going with one route, and because no one really knows anything. So I'm going to just go with total driving accuracy. Might enter some bigger contests this week, so we'll see.
All right.
I'm going to be there, so.
Yeah, you have to.
As well.
Side bets.
Okay.
Let's think of a range we didn't talk about too much.
I would say 8K or 8K or 7K.
Let's do this. $8,700 to $9,000 snake draft. There's only 4 guys.
Okay, so it's 2v2.
I will give you the first pick. I'll take the next 2.
Okay. Jordan Spieth upside.
Okay. I'm going to go Ju Young Kim and obviously Lowry.
Okay, I'm winning this one.
Yeah,
so.
You are. I gave you that. Spieth versus Lowry and Kim.
Yeah, okay. We'll see how that turns out, because we got 2 more weeks of these side bet warm-ups.
Then we're keeping track for real.
Then we're keeping track, and I'm gonna get
bye week. We're gonna keep a spreadsheet. We'll have a whole week. We'll have a whole week to plan it out. It's gonna be good to keep track.
One of us is gonna get rich off these side bets.
Yeah, $5 a week.
It's life-changing
money.
Yeah.
Oh God!
I mean,
all right.
I mean, how many weeks are there? 49 weeks.
Yeah, it adds up. I mean, if you're losing a majority of these, and they're for the most part they're coin flip bets, you can definitely get hot.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I started off hot, then you got hot, so we'll see.
So, all right, that'll do it this week on the final points. Thank you for joining. We'll be back next week for the Tour Championship. We'll see you then.
Peace.